What is going on, everybody? Hold on a second here. Let me put my live chat so I can actually read what you guys are typing. And I am in the warehouse district now. I actually was stopping by my friend Cerakote chick. If you have not seen her on Instagram, check out her page. She is an armorer and a hell of a good one. And she does Cerakoting, upgrades, repairs, triggers, all sorts of stuff. So just a shout out to my friend. And actually, it's funny because I need to do a live stream with her and her hubs. And I need to do a live stream with the silver guy in town here because he's phenomenal. Hey, Suburban. But speaking of money, reports out there, hey, KP, are that certain signs of deflation are occurring and the unemployment. So here are the three things that have happened. They say there are signs of deflation. Hey, Dan. There are indications that the unemployment has gone down to 3.7% and that we've added 160,000 jobs. Hey, Coffee. But is it real? So I saw the information and I'm like, that's sus. I don't believe that. But I looked into it and it appears it may be legit. But it's important to understand the context of these three metrics because they'll say like, oh, we don't have inflation anymore. We have some deflation. And people are like, oh, yay, but it's actually, you need to understand, hey, Holly, how it plays into the bigger picture. And before the mainstream media starts, cheerleading for the decisions that are being made in our leadership, I wanted to at least go out there and throw this. So the job numbers, first of all, I'm going to address them one at a time. So the job numbers, right? Like $150,000, $160,000 jobs. What that means is 160,000 positions have been filled. That does not mean these are careers. That does not mean that they are full-time 40-hour-a-week jobs. They are positions being filled. Now, I may be a little off on the definition, but it does not necessarily mean that just because someone has one of these jobs that they can actually make a living. Hey, Joe. And I missed a few people in there. Coffee. Hey, Teresa. And Dan, and I missed a few folks. If I missed you, I'm sorry. So that doesn't necessarily mean that you've added a lot of legitimate employment. Let me rephrase that. You have added jobs, right? Someone's filling a position, but it's Christmas time. It's Thanksgiving, right? We're going into the holidays. So even this last few months going into this Christmas, stores and businesses are going to add people, right? They're going to be regular workers who are on vacation. So they're going to hire temp workers to fill the gaps. That's still a job. So the number is not false. It's just they don't explain the entire context. And when they fail to do that, what you wind up happening is people can spin it however the hell they want. And we talk about this in our community all the time. So they can spin these stats however the hell they want. They're like, oh yeah, hell, I've never been in a city and been in the middle of nowhere, but I'm experiencing that right now because this is like a big flat piece of concrete, but there's not parking and there's no building. It's just here. Like something used to be here. So I'm just going to hang out here for a bit. So, hey, Backwoods, good to see you, brother. Tiger, hello, Tiger. I missed a few of you there. So I hope everyone's doing well. So as far as the job metrics, did we add 168,000 jobs? It looks like we did. I wouldn't doubt it, but keep in mind a couple of things. One, you have the holidays. They're going to hire the malls, the stores hire more people. We all know that. Brandon Herrera is a tool. Brandon, I haven't decided if I like or don't like Brandon Herrera. I look at him as a comedian. Like, he goes on and does smart ass shit and it makes me laugh. But that's just me. Hey, Hillbilly. I don't take him too seriously. So, yeah, and in that context, yeah, maybe he is. So we did add 168,000 jobs, but what does that mean if we're in the holiday season? We do that every year. So yes, more people are hired, But that does not necessarily mean, one, that they can make a living from this job. It's not like, oh, I got hired as a teacher, or I don't know, a technical expert at a company, or I'm working as an x-ray tech. That you can make a living off of stuff like that. They don't specify. It's just a position was filled. So we added jobs, but they may not necessarily be jobs that are sufficient to raise a family, to pay your bills. All right, you guys tracking me? Also, it doesn't mean that if I get a job during the day at Walmart and I work at night at PetSmart stocking, I technically, one dude filled 2 jobs. I may be barely making ends meet, but I did technically fill 2 jobs. So it's important that we understand the definition of this stuff, because they're like, oh, we've added 168,000 jobs. It was freaking Thanksgiving and Christmas. Of course you did. I'm not diminishing it. It's good that they're hiring. It's a good sign. But at the same time, well, exactly, Joe. Statistics can be very valuable if you understand them. Now, the problem is you can lie, not lying, using a statistic a certain way. Again, we've added 168,000 jobs, but are they jobs people can make a living from? Maybe, maybe not. We don't know. It's not broken down like that. They don't collect that information. So that's anybody's speculation. But you guys kind of track. So on that first claim, we added jobs. Yes, we did. Is it good? Sure it is. People are working. People are out there. Does it mean the economy is getting better? Not necessarily, right? We could just as easily lose those 200,000 jobs, whatever, as soon as Christmas is over and New Year's is over and, you know, everything's put away and the stocking is done. They could all get fired in January. We don't know. So although it's good news, it's not something for people to say, oh, yay, we win. What did you say backwards? They lie and fudge numbers to make themselves look good. Yeah, exactly. And that's why I'm bringing this up, because we need to understand the context. It's not a lie. The numbers are correct, but they're not sharing the full context. So they're not lying. They're just not telling us the whole truth, which in some way, shape, or form is kind of indirect lying. So, okay, so that was the first thing, adding jobs. So second, unemployment has gone down to 3.7%. Is that good? Hypothetically, yes. But does that necessarily mean that more people are employed or that the economy is better? No, and I'll tell you why. The unemployment number, at least from when I took economics, when I did my grad school, unless they changed it again, because you know they've been changing it. Joe, what the hell? I'm going to mute Joe just so he doesn't talk about butt plugs. What the hell? This crackhead. Anyway, wait, is it drunk Joe already? It's like 11 in the morning. That's too soon. It's just snarky Joe is what it is. Anyway, Joe. Anyway, going back to, he's quite proud of himself right now, I promise you. In any case, the unemployment numbers have diminished, but the unemployment numbers only include people of working age, so 18 to 65, because retirement's still 65, who are still looking for work. Okay, you guys following me here? So if I decide I'm going to just stop applying, I'm done, I'm going to collect welfare, or I'm going to collect whatever, I'm going to go be a thief and steal from other people, or I just move in with a family member and I'm like, okay, I'm going to live with my family member till I figure out what I'm doing. I'm not actively looking for work. Therefore, I'm not included in the unemployment numbers. So you might have like 1 month, there's a big layoff, right? You have 100,000 people all looking for work and your unemployment is a certain level. But if 2 months later, out of that 100,000 people, only 50,000 are still looking and the rest gave up, even if they didn't find work, they just stopped looking, the number is going to look better, right? Because it's like, oh, well, you know, we have 50,000 less unemployment claims. Well, yeah, because they stopped looking. It doesn't mean they're actually working. It's just they gave up, or they left the job market, or they retired, or whatever the case is. So remember, unemployment includes people of working age, legal, 18 to 65, who are actively looking for employment and are eligible to work. So if they hire people who are illegally here, they're not eligible to work legally, but they're filling the spot. So now they don't hire a guy in America or Canada. I think Canada's metrics are very similar. So you guys tracking me on that. So that's metric number 2. So although it's good that the unemployment claims are down, it doesn't necessarily mean that the economy is better. Because if they just stopped making unemployment claims and the unemployment ran out, because you have it for a definite time period, then yeah, Tiger, I've been the same way all week. I've screwed up so much paperwork in the last 48 hours, it's not even funny. But yeah, I'm typing inverted numbers and whatnot. But you guys kind of follow me, ladies and gentlemen. And I want you guys to understand this, because it's important as preppers for us to look at this with a grain of salt and say, how does it, I think the unemployment is probably around 25% inflation. Okay, so I'm going to get to that one. That's the third point. So I brought up 3 points. One was more jobs, right? And we just talked about that. The second one was the unemployment statistic. Both at their surface are good. Yes, they're hiring people. Great. Yes, there are less unemployed claims. Great. But keep in mind, if I get a job at Walmart that's like one of the lower end jobs, I may not be able to pay my bills, but technically I'm working. And if I'm working, I can't claim unemployment. So I'm no longer an unemployment claim. Right? That doesn't mean I'm making ends meet. It doesn't mean my kids are getting fed. It doesn't mean we have good clothing. So I do agree. So to backwards made a great point here. Hold on, I lost it now. Shit. Whack some people. Oh, well, YouTube whacked some people this morning. Oh, that's not good. And a heart blocking part of the chat on the right bottom. Oh. Wait, okay, so backwards. Unemployment is probably around 25%, inflation at 50. Right, so if you took, and this is the number I cannot find online. I'm having a hard time finding it. I might have to call some of my professors in the old business school and see if they can find it. So unemployment, 18 to 65 who are actually looking. My question is, how many people 18 to 65 of the entire population, other than the disabled and retired, are in the job market at all? Because that would be, in other words, if we have, I don't know, 100 million adults between 18 to 65, but only 70,000 in the job market, you add that other 30,000 into eligible workers, the unemployment number is going to look like garbage. It's going to go up because there's more people not working. Hey, Cigar. Hey, GMA. So you guys understand. So going to now the unemployment, when we're looking, and then the inflation, so deflation, right? So backwards made a good point about the inflation, deflation. So they're saying in the news this morning, and it was ABC, so yeah, well, they're showing signs of deflation. So I started looking into the article. So the inflation number, the number for inflation is an aggregate number. In other words, they have a bunch of bins, right? If you want to think of it this way, they have food, clothing, utilities, vehicles, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. They look at the pricing for all of them, how much they're going up and down. They average it out. I'm being very generic. It's a little more involved, but you guys, generally it's a big averaging of everything. And they say this is the net inflation rate. And that includes everything from cars to refrigerators to socks to chicken eggs. You know what I mean? They're saying, oh, there's deflation, but hold on. The deflation was in what they call non-appreciable, what is the phrase they use? Just blanked out. It was non-diminishing goods, or depreciable goods. So essentially what it is vehicles, appliances, stuff like that. Those are going down, so they're saying, oh, there's signs of deflation. No. because there's no mention in the report that the cost of food, utilities, mortgages, clothing are going the other way, because they're not. So even though, you have basically all these factors in there, and these two are going down, but these guys are still going up, and it's dragging the average down, but that doesn't mean these numbers are better. So we're all still struggling with food, and Elon Musk and then the CEO of one of these crypto companies both called it out on a newscast. This was before Elon told someone to go F themselves, which I thought was awesome, even though I don't know what the hell they were upset about. They both said the deflation isn't stuff that people can't afford anyway, right? So the car prices are too high. None of us can afford a new car. So now the prices are coming down, right? Supply and demand. The price got too high. There's no demand. The price has to come down. So they're saying, oh, we have deflation in automobiles and appliances. Well, yeah, because nobody can frickin' afford them. Because the cost of food has gone up so much. Yeah, GMA Merkel, exactly. So you guys are tracking me, right? So when I started this live stream, I mentioned three things: new jobs created, the unemployment, and the inflation. The numbers they are putting in the media are technically correct, but they don't explain the entire context of how those numbers are created. And so it makes it sound good when it's not necessarily good. Like I said, I could work at an ice cream parlor and a street sweeper, and I technically have filled 2 jobs. So, 2 jobs have been filled, but I can barely make ends meet. Cigar Prepper, exactly my point. They're saying there's deflation, right? Deflation, but it's only in certain categories. Do you know why? Nobody's buying cars. You know why? We can't afford the damn things between the price and the interest rate. So this is interesting because they're trying to make it look good when it's not. And I started wondering why, or exactly, GMA, and backwards, yeah. Right, and backwards, that's my point. So what they do, if they're, the number, by definition, right, the economic number is an average of a bunch of different things. Well, if these 3 go down, they're like, oh, there's deflation in this part. Yeah, but these are still high. You don't need to buy a car every day. You don't need to buy a house every day. You don't need to, buy appliances every day. You do need to buy food for your damn kids. You do need to wear clothing. You do need medical care. You see what I'm saying? And so they're telling us the truth, not telling us the truth. And I wanted to come on here because it's been bugging me all morning and just share this with you. And feel free to share this out. And if you guys look up something that's more accurate, feel free to put it in the comments later. Oh, what happened here? Hold on a second. When you think. Oh, and yeah, no, that's terrible, Joe. No, thank you. So I just want you guys to understand the bigger picture. Now, keep in mind, you're adding jobs because it's Christmas, right? Walmart, Sam's, all these stores have been adding part-time employees since like August, right? To stock and receive inventory and set everything up, right? Since Halloween, hell, before Halloween was over, they were already putting Christmas stuff in some of the aisles, right? So you have these extra employees. Of course you add jobs, but you're not going to add jobs. You're not going to add jobs in the long term. And you're not necessarily adding jobs that people can make a living from. And Backwards made a few good points. A lot of you are making good points. I can't catch them all on the screen because they're blowing by fast. But I just want you guys to have that context so you understand, yeah, certain things are getting cheaper. Now, if you're in the market for a car, right, now might be a good time. We just went to a Mazda dealer. I was doing homework for my son. He's coming back from overseas. They're going to sell their car and buy one here. And if you buy a new car, they'll give you a 1 or 2% interest rate up to 60 months financing, which is really good. And the price of the car was not excessive. It was a little higher than that size car I remember, but not excessive. And I asked the guy, well, what's going on? And he said, We're watching GM, Ford, Toyota struggling because they got greedy. Mazda's philosophy has changed, and we're approaching it like we want to get market share. We want to show our value, that we're as good as the big guys and we can come in at a reasonable price for financing. And I'm like, you guys are smart. Your CEO is sitting there thinking, I'm going to grab market share from the big guys because they're being greedy and now they're fighting with their unions. We're going to come in a little lower and offer a good product at an affordable price and not be up top. And right, that kind of understanding on the part of their CEO is very smart. And so understanding, looking for those deals, right? So now if you know, hey, what though? No, I'm talking Suburban cheaper than like pre-Rona for that size car. So if you're looking at a 4-door small sedan, they used to be 18, they had them for 22. So it is an increase, right? It's about a 12% increase. But that same size car at Toyota is 30-40% increase. So it's really disproportionate, right? My pickup truck, when I got it in 2018, was around 40-something thousand, and it was a bit pricey at the time. The same trim, not leather seats, not fancy. I do have the off-road package because of work, is now 65-70. That's almost a freaking 50-60% increase. That's insane. I'm like, I'm not even going to buy it. Why would I even look at that? Yeah, so, but to your point, yes, you're right. If you're looking, comparing prices between now and like 2020, it's all caca, it's all screwed up. You need to go back to 2018, 2019, and then compare to today and see where you are. And we're not in a good place, right? You just have to buy milk right now and you can see we're inflated. So, folks, I wanted you guys to, ladies and gentlemen, to have that context so you would be informed, right? So if you're in the market for a car, you know car prices are starting to come down. Now you wait and see if they come down to where you can get one. But food is not, which means if you're going to buy a little bit of bulk food with a friend, split it and store it, now's a good time to do it because more than likely food prices may increase. Now, fuel's been all over the map because we're increasing production in the US, but OPEC is cutting production because they're trying to keep the price between like 75 and 85, right? Because they don't want it to crash and hurt their countries overseas, but they don't want it to spike and then everything goes to shit for everybody. So they're playing this very dangerous teeter-totter game, which could go very badly. And that's assuming Iran and Israel don't get into a massive catfight and Israel decides to turn Tehran into a rubble zone, which would just become a big shit show at that point. And, you know, we can't factor those things in. But just understanding that. So, guys, ladies and gentlemen, continue to do what you're doing. Oh, it is. Well, that's why they call it a cartel. They say it out in the open. I know it's messed up for a lot of people, even looking at a car to buy. Right, and the sad thing is, Watchmen, a lot of people need an automobile to get to work. So it's a catch-22. You can't afford the car to get to work, but if you can't get the car, you can't get to work on time, and then you may lose your job, and now you're screwed even more, and it's just impossible. And mass transit has become garbage because they don't enforce laws, and they have hobos and stuff mugging people in the damn subways and peeing on people. I mean, this is insane. So, also, shrinkflation, to Dan's point, you are going to start seeing shrinkflation. We've already seen it, but you're going to see more of it. So we had, we bought the pack of potty paper from Sam's back during Rona, or just before Rona really shut us down. And we found part of that pack, and we looked at each toilet paper roll, same brand today and yesterday. There was a 1/4 inch difference in the diameter of each roll. Like, you think about it, they do a 1/4 inch less. It's barely noticeable unless you have them together. Then you notice it. But the amount of money the company is saving, which means the companies are hurting, which means the people are hurting. You know what I mean? It's just all the way down the chain. If you want to judge, go ahead. I'm lost track of that conversation. But yeah, so folks, understand those three metrics, right? The unemployment, the inflation rate, and the and the job or the unemployed claims. Understanding how those work, the way I just explained it, and you may have to read it back if you jumped in a little late, you play it back. It helps you define where's my risk. So my risk right now, I don't need a new car. But if I wanted a new car, I'm thinking in the back of my mind, I'm going to start watching car prices because people in my family may need one. So I'm going to start watching and see where the deals pop up for that person. And this is where you can collaborate with other folks. Now, on a side note, speaking of collaborating, before we shut this down, right now, 87 octane unleaded in West Texas is $2.36 a gallon. If you guys have just checked within the last day or two, can you put roughly where you are and what your cost is? You know, you don't have to be specific. You can say, you know, Northeast or, you know, Southwest or Pacific Coast, and just put, well, Joe, and that's the thing. They count on us not understanding the numbers so they can take advantage of us. And whether you like or don't like Donald Trump, what he said was not wrong. He said, I know the game is rigged because I used it, and so do they. Might you be a little bit mental? Want to have more to move with it. It's a lot. So $2.30 in Massachusetts. Okay, that's not a bad price. That's getting in the right direction. Tennessee, that's high, man. But I'm closer to the refineries. You guys are on the coast, so that's going to make a big difference too. And hey, winning streak, and oops. It's like you know me. Hey, Yard Dog, is anyone still seeing prices over $3 anywhere? Oh, $3.30, Pilgrim. Oh, that's not good. That's high. Winning streak, 279. Okay, and like I said, we're 236 out here in West Texas, which means the cities are probably about 10 cents higher. Loretta, 319. Hey, Niels. And Neil, just as a conversation point, oh no, I figured Watchman. I get you. I've seen you enough. I kind of understand where you're coming from. Totally. Wait, somebody just said 339. Holly, thank you. 249 in Arkansas. Okay. $305 to $325. Okay. $5 in Seattle. God. It could be cheaper. Okay, no, that'll work, Tennessee. I appreciate that. And it's good to see you, man. We've been missing each other. Our schedules are both garbage right now. So, okay, $5 for GMA Merkel. So, yeah, folks, look, oh, what's going on here? Just move along. So, FJB. Yeah, I totally agree, Tennessee. In any case, folks, hey, Mike. Folks, understanding how these, hey, Cassandra, how these numbers understanding how these numbers play out and how they affect you and what they're signaling to you. Because if they're making this many rah-rah statements before Christmas, but you notice one thing they haven't said is that the selling and buying season was good, that Black Friday was good, because it was not. I went to various malls, I went to the stores, I called friends in other cities, had them go to the malls and tell me what they saw. And thank you, backwards. It's not a good thing. So I'm gonna speculate, and this is purely a speculation. When the Q4 report, right, October, November, December, economically pops up in January, because it takes a few weeks to compile, January, February, you're gonna watch the market freak out, because I don't think that the Christmas season is gonna be as good as people said it was gonna be. Another thing to think about is a lot of folks are resorting to DIY gifts. So I've seen a lot of people are now making baskets. They'll buy maybe a bottle of wine, a movie, popcorn, a t-shirt, and they'll do like a movie night basket for another couple. Or they'll get Legos and toys. Instead of buying something real expensive, make a basket for the kids. And it's tasteful and it's cute, but it's also kind of homemade. Fridge and replace. Cost almost as much to restock fridge and freezers to replace the appliance. Yes, Suburban, and that's something that concerns me, is losing a bunch of product because of a freezer refrigerator going down. So folks, I hope this was helpful for all of you, and I appreciate all of you. It was a really active chat. I was having trouble keeping up, so I apologize if you guys hit me up with something and I missed it. But I wanted you all to understand the economic numbers and how they're defined and where they come from and what it can tell you, because that informs our decisions. That gives us the tools to then say, I'm going to do this now because food's going to get worse, but I'm not going to buy a new car because their price is going to go down. I'm going to sit and wait. And that's an example, but you guys get what I'm saying. It's important that we understand how the system works, because they're counting on us not to know. And if we know, we can be part of that benefit. We can catch it on the upswing. We cannot get caught as a victim. We can kind of position ourselves to be successful. So folks, God bless all of you guys. Be safe. Take care of yourselves, and I will see you later on. But be careful, and take care of yourselves. Don't get in trouble or anything. Anyway, be good, and it was good to see you all. Y'all take care. Bye.